What is going on, and welcome back to another episode of Thursday's Thoughts. And on this episode, I'm going to talk about the day that changed my life, the scariest day of my life, but the most needed day of my life. The reason why I'm talking about it today is because we're coming up on I guess you call it the anniversary of Hurricane Sandy. But before we get into that, it's just crazy to me that we had dealt with another tragedy, another hurricane. And it's even crazier that my wife and I were buying property over in Destin, Florida. And the week that we're supposed to be there, Hurricane Michael comes roaring through and rips homes to shred. Thank God that it just missed our home, or the area that we're looking to buy. About 40 miles away, though, Panama City and Mexico Beach. You guys are in our thoughts because I know what that's like. So my wife and I and then the baby, we were going to look at property in Destin, and a hurricane came. So we stayed at her parents' house, and then we ended up going. And guys, I tell you, I kind of felt like shit going because I know what it's like to go through a hurricane, which I'll talk to you guys about here in a minute. But when we showed up at Destin and it was fine, it was beautiful, it was sunny, I had this eerie feeling because I knew about 40 miles away, there were people crying, and there was death, and there was tragedy, and there was homes destroyed and memories destroyed. So it's kind of hard to truly enjoy it. But, you know, the one thing I took away from it was that I want to get there quicker so I could help them rebuild any way I can, because I know what that's like. So anybody who is listening to this right now, if you can go ahead and donate to Mexico Beach or Panama City Beach, find a way to donate. There's thousands of ways, I'm sure of it, but find a way to donate to them because they need it right now. As much as you need that $5 to go buy your Starbucks, they need it more to go ahead and get a case of water. So please go ahead and donate, do whatever you can to help Hurricane Michael relief. It is something that if you ever went through it before, you'd understand. You know, when I was in Destin, when we showed up there, the wife and I were making donations left and right because we get it. We absolutely get it. So please take some time after this podcast and go donate however you can. $5, $10, $100, whatever it is, whatever you got, just donate, give. Remember that, you know, there's people out there right now that lost everything. Some people lost everything, including their loved ones. So please support them any way you can. And I want to get a little bit deep on this Thursday's Thoughts because it's coming up once again on that, you know, anniversary of Hurricane Sandy. And it was October 29th, 2012, guys, when it all changed, October 29th. I'm going to take you through the mindset behind the curtains a little bit of who I was in that moment or you know, weeks before. So I was still a very stubborn person, very selfish. I was still money driven, very driven by money. And, you know, I was taking small steps, right? I was running a marketing firm and a sales firm, helping businesses, doctors, dentists, chiropractors, so on and so forth, grow their business. And I was making incremental steps in my own life, but it was very small. But to give you a little bit of an idea, so we lived in a motel, as most of you guys know, then an apartment, another apartment, a little bit bigger apartment. Then we finally get this house. And it's the first week of October, and we finally get this house. Now, my mental state's a little bit better. My finances a teeny bit better. Look, guys, I was below average years before. I was just brinking on average at that moment. But we finally get our first house, so we're stoked as hell. And we get our first house, and you know, there's complications with it, but we got it. And we get in there around the first week of October. But we decided to go to see a Ravens-Cowboy game because I love the Cowboys. She loves the Ravens. We both love Ray Lewis. Shout out to my man. You're a legend. And we decided to go see him because it was his last year. So we spent a few days in Baltimore. Amazing time. We come home, and it's like mid-October-ish, and we got this house. We got a yard. You know, now we didn't own it, but we got this house. So what do? We got brand new furniture because we lived with the really crappiest furniture you could think of because our apartments were kind of crappy. So we had holes in our couches, and it was an ugly situation. So finally got new furniture, new TVs. We were beyond excited. We had parties, people playing football in the back, watching TV, our 3D TV. We were out of this world excited. And then within 2 weeks after we moved in, we get that notification on the TV that Hurricane Sandy is going to be coming through. Being Italian, being from Jersey, I'm super stubborn. And my wife still thinks I am, which there's probably parts of my life I am, but I'm super stubborn at that moment. But more importantly, I'm selfish. I got this pride issue, and it's still, I'm still kind of an angry person. I still have a lot of negativity, not as much, but I still have some negativity. I'm working things out. And we get the notification that Hurricane Sandy's coming in a few days. Well, it was voluntary evacuation. So for me, voluntary evacuation means, dude, you ain't got to leave, which was stupid because we lived on a barrier island. I had water surrounding me. Why the hell would I not leave? It's again, we get in our own way, guys. To be successful, we get our own way of so many things. And I got my own way, and I almost died from it. And worse off, I almost killed my family from it. And it was about 2 days before, and fire trucks going around. It's voluntary. We didn't leave, obviously. So I went and we picked up my mother and my father and their dog because they were a little bit lower on the ground. We had about 7 feet maybe of elevation from ground to actually entrance to our house, about 7 feet, maybe 6, whatever it might have been. So we brought them over, and it was October 29th in the morning that I just remember it was like weird outside, but there's no rain. So we're just hanging out, chilling, nothing's going on. TV's still on. Everything's good. A few hours later, wind's kicking up. And a few hours later, wind's kicking up even more. Still no rain. And we decide it's about 6 o'clock to go for a walk outside. And we go outside, and now the wind is kicking. The wind is like blowing us left and right. I mean, we could basically stand up, lean forward, and the wind is holding us up. We went by the bay because it's walking distance from our house, and we see the waves crashing in the bay, and it's coming up. But it wasn't actually flooded or anything. It was just crashing onto the streets. Then I remember hearing a gentleman saying, "What are you doing? You crazy?" And it was this guy who was yelling from his house, like, "Get the hell inside. Why are you outside during a hurricane?" And as he said that, the breaker, whatever it was on the telephone pole, just started sparking. Psh, psh, psh. So we're like, oh, shit. Okay, now we definitely got to go inside. So we go inside, and we pull out Monopoly. And me and my family were having a good time. Like, we're enjoying, we're laughing. Little did we know what was going to happen a few hours later, not even. So I took my dog out for a walk. It was about 7 o'clock at this point. Came back inside, playing Monopoly in our room. The lights are out because obviously electric's all gone because of the wind. Then all of a sudden, 8 o'clock comes around. And that's when I heard the noise I'll never forget. Trickle, trickle, trickle. And I look, we're in our bedroom, and I look and I see water in my living room. And it looks like it's a little bit flowing from my front door. So I said, what the hell? I was just outside an hour ago. It was dry. And I get up, I walk, and splashing water. I open up the door to the front, and there it was. 4 feet of water outside, roaring rapids. There was debris. There was a dock. There were so many things running or rushing through the front yard that had 4 feet of water. I look out at my car, and my car is legit filled 4 feet of water. Like, there's no turning back on that. The horn is going off. The alarm is going off. And I said, oh, shit, this just got real. And I came inside, and within about 5 minutes after that, we had a foundation crack, and shoo, water starts funneling in the house, and it's funneling in the house. And I didn't know what to do except me being selfish, stubborn, and had this pride thing, and I was super money driven, that we just bought brand new furniture. I need to put this shit up. So as funny as I think about it, it's sad that I thought that way. But I put up all the furniture before trying to rescue my family. I put up the furniture. Mindset-wise, man, I don't know what I was thinking. And that's why I call this the scariest day of my life, but yet the most beneficial day of my life. And so when that foundation cracked and the water starts coming in, my dad's taking a mop bucket and he's scooping the water and he's throwing it outside the window, scooping the water outside the window. Then we realized, dude, there's like 6 feet of water outside almost. What the hell are we doing? We weren't the smartest people at that moment, obviously. So we said, let's go up to the attic. So we put down the attic, and it's a 1-story. So we get everybody to the attic, and I'm still trying to put shit away because, got to save the money and got to save the, materialistic things, John. And I have about 2 feet of water. That's up to, let's just say, my thigh area. And I'm soaking wet because, guys, it's October. The water's freezing. And so we get up to the attic, and all of a sudden we get up to the attic. The ladder's down. I look down, and it's climbing rung by rung, and boom, boom, the trees coming through the roof, and the water's rising, and the trees thumping, and the water's rising, the trees thumping, the water's rising, the trees thumping. And at that moment, there's about 5 rungs covered We have about 7 altogether on that ladder, and that tree is thumping. And I look back and I just remember it clear as day. It's like an outer body experience. I could literally sit here and visualize it. My eyes open or closed. There was my wife shivering. My cat was throwing up. My dog was going to the bathroom everywhere because she was scared. My mother and father were scared. My father acted like he wasn't, but he was. But I just remember it looking back and saying, what the hell have I done? Like, seriously? Like, all because I was too prideful or too money driven or too self. I don't know what the reason was, but I didn't leave, and I'm putting my family in the most scariest situation. And more importantly, what the hell have I done in this world? I have never created any kind of, and here it comes, the word that was never a part of my vocabulary. I never created any kind of impact on this world. Guys, I literally have never said that word, I don't think, in my life. And not meaning, I might have said it before, but not in that same meaning. And I realized, oh my God, like, what kind of impact have I made? Like, obviously none on my family, because look at the situation I put them in. None on this world. Yeah, I've changed some businesses. But if I die today, people are going to know me for the guy that partied, for the guy that got into fights, for the guy that had a good time, which is cool. But like, really, it's not a purpose to leave this earth and just be known as that guy. That dash on your grave that's so damn important would have been filled with nothing but drinking and partying and really bad choices, with a few decent ones along the way towards the end of his life. And I wasn't okay with that. So as they're sitting there shivering, I'm shivering and I'm crying. And I said, I'm no longer about income. I'm about impact first, income second. But I had no damn clue what that meant. I just knew that I need to lead with impact. I need to figure out more people I could help. I need to give my family the deepest, most incredible experiences that this world has to offer. And I want to give others the same thing. But I don't know how I'm going to do that, because if I'm about to die, what does this even mean? What is my legacy? I don't even have one. So I said, God, please, if I get out of this, I'll do whatever it takes to live a better life. It's that simple. I'm sure I've said it many of times when I was, coming down off drugs or super drunk and throwing up, that I'll never drink again, right? How many of you guys have said that? God, if you just let me feel better, I'll never drink again. And then 2 days later, you're out the bar again. Well, when I said that, it felt different than the other times I've said it. And the water started slowly receding. So from fifth rung for the fourth one to third. And by the time it got down to like the first one, I knew, because it's the morning now. This is 12, 16 hours have passed. Remember, we have no service. The wind is still kicking. There's fire alarms going off everywhere. Things are going crazy. And the experience up there, it's dark, it's cold. I knew I had to make a break for it, because high tide was about to come in. And there's a chance that if high tide comes in, we're stuck again, and maybe the foundation shifts and we go into the ocean or into the bay, whatever it might be. And so I went down into the floor, and I opened up the door thinking that it's a little bit less than it was the night before, and there's still 4 or 5 feet of water outside. And so I got to make a move for it. And I go into the water, and it's freezing cold, and there's rainbow colors all in the water from all the boats that have flipped over. And I'm treading through this water, and it's chest high, and I'm treading through it saying, I need to save my family. I need to save my family. And I heard this noise, and I was like, wah, wah, wah. And it was just jet ski. And this kid on a jet ski comes by and says, bro, how can I help you? I found this jet ski with a key in it. It's not even mine. How can I help you? And I said, I don't care about helping me. I have a whole family in there that needs to be rescued. What can we do? And he said, there's a guy who's a Navy SEAL that's actually out here with a big front loader and a bucket saving people. I said, let's go find him. So we found him, and I asked him, please come save us. And he said, yeah, absolutely. I gave him my address, and I had the jet ski guy drop me back off. And I told my family there's a chance, but I don't know, because there's so many people out there that are screaming for help. And it's an absolute catastrophe. And we waited for an hour, 2 hours. And then I thought it was it, thought we weren't going to. So we started thinking about how we get back upstairs. Then I got the knock, and there he was, full wetsuit and all. This guy who has this big old front loader with ginormous wheels says, let's go, bring the family out. And the family comes out, and he parked probably about a good 30 feet away, because he couldn't get that close because of all the debris and everything. So I remember picking up my big pit bull, she's about 90 pounds, over my head, walking through the water as the water's chest high, walking my pit bull over my head, and I put her into the bucket. My mother, my father, my parents' dog into the bucket, and my wife sitting in the captain's seat, and I just get in this bucket, and he lifts us up out of the water, because obviously you got to be low enough to get in. He lifts us up out of the water, and we're sitting in there soaking wet, and he's driving us out as I see people on the roof screaming, and I see the Air Force with their ropes down and saving people. And we get out, and we go, and we're in a shelter for a day, basically. And it's just crazy, because I'm sitting in a shelter with, this is what I'm wearing. I'm wearing my wife's snowflake pajama pants and a pair of cleats that I had for softball and some raggedy ass shirt. So that's what I'm sitting there in the shelter wearing. Everything else is gone, right? And I'm soaking wet. But I wrote a contract to myself, and I didn't know how to go ahead and complete it. And I had that moment. So that was another shift in my life where I realized, John, you don't know what you don't know. Oh my God, I don't know what I don't know. And that's an amazing, beautiful thing, that you don't know what you don't know, but there are people out there that do. And you don't even know what questions to ask right now, but start with one. And I started with one question on how to be more resourceful. And I asked the right person, and then I asked another question, and I got us out of the shelter, and we're living at our in-laws. I asked another one. Now we're living in a condo. I'm like, okay. And I'm making small steps. I get put back into an environment where I'm not, what I said I was going to be in that attic. And then I made the shift to leave that area and drive, I don't know, thousands of miles away and get into an environment that I could think differently. And my life changed forever. It changed forever, but all started with a tragedy, with almost dying. The fear of death changed my life. Stop waiting for that. And the lessons learned, guys, are a few things. One is, stop being so selfish, stop being so stubborn and prideful. Okay, number 2 is, make sure you ask the right questions, or just ask questions to people. You don't know everything, dude. Like, you don't. Stop thinking that you do, because me at 22 years old thought I knew everything. And guess what? My ass was below average, and I thought I knew everything. That shit doesn't align. Not at all. Now I'm way above average. I'm not gonna lie. I'm way above average than what I was. And I don't know anything. Like, it's the most incredible thing. There's so much more to learn, but I'm growing every day. So that's number 2. You don't know what you don't know. Be okay with that. That's the most brilliant part. And go find it. It's number 3. Go find out what you don't know. And number 4 is, just remember, like, tomorrow could all be over. So don't wait for a tragedy to be grateful, to love on others. Like I talk about my last Thursday's thoughts. Like, change your life right now. Like, right in this moment, change your life. It took me almost dying through Hurricane Sandy, which, by the way, there was no rain, right? So I don't even think it was a hurricane. It almost took me dying to realize your life needs to change. And then I started taking small steps, because I surrounded myself with these small thoughts. And there's somebody said to me one day, John, you can't have big goals, and you can't express big goals to small-minded people. And I realized that. And so I had to expand my network, and I had to go out, and my friends were phenomenal. They supported me every step of the way. They gave me clothes. They helped me find places. They moved me. They did everything they could. My network lifted me up. So what is your network doing to help you? Right? What is your network doing to help you? They don't need to be giving you money. They just need to give you value, or just care for you. So put yourself in the right network, and then stop taking the small incremental steps. That was the last step that I want you guys to realize, is that your steps you're taking now, I don't care who you are, you're taking small last steps because you're scared. You're scared. What's more scary is the life that you could have that you're not going to have because of small last steps you're taking. So what is really, really important in this message is that you're taking too small of steps, because tomorrow you may not be able to take a damn step. So realize this right now, that you need to take leaps and bounds. You need to take massive, aggressive, annoying action every single day to become the person you're trying to become. And now I live my life that way because of this hurricane. I live my life this way because of these things that happened to me. And I'm helping others design the life they've always wanted to live, creating the ultimate version of themselves, enjoying the most abundant lifestyle they can, and having the most insane, incredible experiences this world has to offer. I'm helping others do it while I do it for myself and my family, but I'm only doing it because I'm realizing that today is the biggest damn day of my life. It's the biggest day. It's the biggest game of my life. Every day I wake up like Ray Lewis, ready to go because today is the biggest game of my life. Because today, what I do, it matters. It can make the biggest impact. So make sure you guys look at this story and realize, don't wait for the fear of death to make a change. Don't wait for you to realize 20 years later that the steps you're taking were too damn small. Make it a point to go ahead and realize you don't know what you don't know, and that's okay. Make it a point to stop being selfish, stop being stubborn, and put the pride down. Make it a point to surround yourself with the right network. And last but not least, take massive, aggressive, annoying action to become the person you want to become, to have the life you want to have the body you want to have the mindset you want to have the money you want to have. Take bigger steps. Because if I were to have died in that hurricane or any time, and I would have looked back, looking down and realized, man, like you were almost there. Like you started taking these little steps, John. Right? You stop being an addict. You stop doing drugs. You stop partying as much. Okay, cool. Little step. You listen to a podcast or watch a motivational YouTube once a month. Okay, small step. And if I look down, I realize, shit, there was so much more I could have done throughout the day to take more massive, aggressive, annoying action. I would never even put myself in that situation. But I did. And now I realize. So my story hopefully allows you to think bigger, take bigger action, pull down the pride guard and the selfish guard and lead with impact first, income second. October 29th, 2012 was the day that it all changed for me. I want you to look at your calendar right now. Whatever day you listen to this on. I want you to listen to this, whatever day it is. I want you to go ahead and write down the date. I'm waiting for you to write down the date. Now you wrote down a date. I want you to put under it the day that it all changes. So you put the date down, the day that it all changes. Now I want you to take a picture of it. And I want you to have that picture in front of you at all times until you start taking those massive, aggressive, annoying action steps that you need to take. Today's the shift. Today is the day. Let my story reach one person. I don't care who you are. Please let me know who you are. If it helped you have a little bit more of awareness and wake your ass up to start not just thinking big, but doing big and start living a life full of abundance. Because tomorrow could be gone. Mexico Beach, it's all gone for them. Some people have died. They lost all their things. The things don't matter, though, as much as I thought they used to. What matters is the people around you and the impact you have created. Are you creating an impact? And if not, please do so. Guys, that's it. It's a little bit longer of Thursday's Thoughts because I wanted to go deep into that story because of the quote-unquote anniversary of Hurricane Sandy, as well as the tragedy that happened with Hurricane Michael. So once again, please donate to Hurricane Michael. If you have any questions, and I have some people over the area that need help, just reach out to me. Please write a review, rate, subscribe to this podcast. It means a lot to me. I'm just trying to reach the masses here. So the more you subscribe, or the more you rate and review it, subscribe, download, and send this thing out and share it to people, the more basically awareness this podcast gets, and I can help the more the people that really want to be helped. So just let me know if I've helped you in any way in this podcast today, and also share it out. And just remember, impact first, income second. Today's the day that it all changes. Have an amazing rest of your day. Reach out to me at Real John Marone and let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, go grab this momentum. Take Big Mo, as Darren Hardy says, and grab it and run into the weekend with it. Have a phenomenal day, guys, and I'll talk to you soon, and keep creating the ultimate version of you.